Good afternoon. My name is Thelma Trailer, and my lesson plan today is on creating or using bar graphs to interpret data. It is geared towards a first grade math class. To begin the lesson, I would have students complete a poster as soon as they walk in called, "Which is your favorite foods?" I'd ask the students to go ahead and write their name on a Post-it and place it next to their favorite food. No other discussion would be made about it until we begin the lesson. So as you see, we have a chart of random names for the different 5 food groups that could be considered favorite foods. After the students have selected their favorite food, we would come together in a group and we would talk about the chart just a little. We might talk about which food ended up being the favorite food, which food was the least liked, and I would introduce this chart, or introduce the lesson, I'm sorry, by explaining that we are going to learn how to display information or data that we collect, such as this information here, so that we can analyze it or study or explain it for further results as we begin to explore creating or using bar graphs. And I'd introduce the topic of bar graphs by reading Lemonade for Sale by Stuart Murphy. From the reading, let's go ahead and create the bar graph that the students used when they were counting their lemonade sales. So we're going to start with this graph. A bar graph will always have a title, so we're going to label this as lemonade sales. And then on this side is going to be your number or data values, which in this case will be the number of cups that the students sold. And down here is your categories or labels. And so for that particular bar graph, it's the days of the week, Monday through Friday. So if you remember from the reading, on Monday, the kids sold 30 cups. So we go up here to the 30 and we just create a bar. Okay. I'm going to scribble in, but you will color in your bar graph. You will color it all the way in. You'll fill it in till it's completely colored. Okay. On Tuesday, the kids club sold 40. So we're going to draw a bar up to 40. On Wednesday, the kids club sold 55. So we're going to go in between. Here goes Wednesday. We're going to go in between the 50 and the 60. Okay, and on Thursday, they sold 25. Again, we're going to go in between the 20 and the 30. And the last day of the week, remember, they blew the sales out of the water and they sold 90. Now, a bar graph helps us to interpret data or to analyze that data. By looking at the bar graph, we can see that the largest number of cups was sold on Friday. The larger or longer bars represent the larger numbers, and the smaller bars, like on Thursday, represents smaller numbers. Now, the kids' goal was to sell 30 to 40 cups during the week, which was about 150 to 200. Looking at the bar graph, does it look like the students met their goal? So even though their goal was short on Thursday, they didn't meet their goal, they met their goal of 30 cups at least every day but Thursday. But because they made their goal, they exceeded their goal on Friday, they were able to meet their goal and they were happy about it. They were able to raise enough money to save their clubhouse. Okay, now looking at our food poster, we're going to do another bar graph. Now this bar graph is horizontal because the bars go up towards the paper, but you can also do a vertical bar graph. Here we've listed our favorite food: hamburger, pizza, mac and cheese, hot dog, spaghetti. So in this chart, the categories or labels go on the side because we've placed the number or data values on the bottom because we're going to go vertically, and vertically means from left to right across the paper. Okay, so if we look at our food chart, there was only 3 who liked hamburgers. So here's our 3. We would go all the way up to hamburger, and we would make a bar graph up to the 3 and color it in. Okay, for pizza, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students who liked pizza. So you'll go up 6, and you'll make your little mark here, and you'll draw your bar graph. And when you're doing your bar graphs, you'll notice that the bars are usually separated by space. Okay, and then mac and cheese, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 students who liked mac and cheese. Okay, and then you have your hot dog where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 who liked hot dogs. And you'll notice by looking at the bar chart that the mac and cheese lovers are the same, have the same amount of people who love hot dogs. And then for spaghetti, we had 4. Again, we would use the bar graph to analyze data. So looking at the bar graph, the longest bar represents the more amount of people who liked that food. And as you can see, pizza was a winner. The least favorite food liked looks like hamburgers. Now, this bar graph is just representation, or another way to display the information that we gathered or collected here. So does this chart match this bar graph? Yes, so this is a bar graph that represents the data, and this is just our collection of it, but it's a picture representation of the data that we collected. And so our bar graph just puts it more into perspective, and it is a different way to display that data. This concludes the guided instruction of the lesson plan. For the collaborative or paired learning, you can have students pair up with a partner, have them pick a handful selection of math manipulatives that are colored, such as Legos, have them sort it out based on color, record down their number of items in each category, and then have them create a bar graph. After they've created the bar graph with their partner, you can have them share it with their group or share it with another group. And this is just an extra practice for them to learn how to collect and sort their data and create the bar graphs. Afterwards, you can separate the students and have them continue to do a little bit more graphing. Again, you can have them pick a handful of Legos or multicolored math manipulatives, sort on their own, record the data on their own, and then create the bar graph on their own. You can also, as an alternative method, pass out activity sheets, which already has items on the worksheet where they can count how many of those items are and create the bar graph based on the observed data. To wrap it up, I'd bring the students back into a circle. We would go ahead and discuss the key vocabulary words such as data collection, analyze, data, the labels of the bar graph like the title, the categories and labels, the number values, and what the purpose of a bar graph is. And we would continue to talk just a little bit more about the bar graph just to make sure that students understand the lesson and are comfortable with creating or interpreting the results of the data collection. You could at the end have the students line up by height and create a live visual bar graph, or you can ask students to look around the classroom or at each other and tell you which data or which items, which categories they could pick to create a bar graph, like such as the different types of shoes that they're wearing, the different types of pencils or supplies that can be found in the classroom. Just something spontaneous and easy. Thanks for watching my presentation on my lesson plan.